When I was a child, I used to babysit all my sisters and brothers for the whole day. But during the evening, I used to go to my neighbor, Meme Gonbo. He didn't have any paper or pencil. I didn't have anything. So he used to teach me with his finger. He used to write with his finger on the dirt, ga, kha, ga, like that. And that's how I learned how to read and write Tibetan.
You miss a lot of opportunities if you wait for that perfect situation. You have to start where you are. And Ken Rinpoche certainly started where he was.
I thought of founding Siddhartha School because when I was a teacher at Sakti School, government school, before going to United States, I saw how the students, Ladakhi students, they had no carpets in their classrooms, no bench, not a good teacher, not any good facilities that a student should have at a school.
And they didn't even have a building, and he taught little children outside. He says, Laura, their noses were running, and they really wanted to learn, and I didn't even have a blackboard.
Main obstacle in the beginning for me to find qualified teachers and money and the classrooms. So I had here next to the Highland Hotel rented the house.
So after coming to Siddhartha School and hearing from Rinpoche what a teacher should be, it's not just a job, it's a relationship between a teacher and a student, and there should be compassion, love, and care, you know? So when she came here, she learned that, and comparing to the school she taught before, it was very different, and she really, it brought a change in herself, within herself.
We were the first school in the Himalayas to implement a social and emotional learning component. So what that means in real life is that we have a social and emotional learning expert who meets with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who works with His Holiness the Dalai Lama's translator and the Mind Life Institute, and actually is collaborating with our teachers.
What we found that working with the cell model, which is quite powerful, is that at the center of these three domains of me, you, and us are the core understanding of emotional literacy and feelings and needs. And we understand others have the same feelings and needs, and the needs are core human values. I think this brings this to the next ethical level. Being responsible and engaged citizens who are grounded and rooted in core human values of compassion and kindness in our daily lives and actions. So CEL has been around for over 20 years, mostly in the United States, and a lot of research has been done. And what the scientists are finding out is that when you have a CEL program and when you take care of the emotions and the social skills of children, it supports academic learning.
Many students who don't live with their family members, and there are many students who belongs to a single family. So before teaching them or before giving any knowledge or education to them, we could understand the background of the children and their feelings especially, so that they are able to understand or adapt what we are teaching or not.
Having an education in a very supporting community naturally helped me build confidence. Like in Siddhartha School, there was many activities like debate competition, elocution, and essay writings, where they gave me a space to find myself, that what I am good at, and that kind of helped me build my own confidence.
I used to give little sticks to students who used to do good in their studies, who used to read well, write well, and is responsible. Take this back home, show it to your parents, and say, I did well, and that's why I got this. And I realized and I saw that they were so happy and so glad to get that little stick, because it was a symbol of education, how well they are doing. So I realized how important it is if a teacher is interested in teaching a student and inspiring them to do really well, and they will also feel proud.
If we had known how hard it would be to start a school, run a nonprofit, and do a board, especially while we were just starting graduate school at one of the most top universities in the country, we wouldn't have done it. You know, Gray particularly was very smart, because he said, well, we don't know how to run a school, but we're at Harvard, so people like to give talks at Harvard, so we'll invite all the experts to come to do a special symposium on Ladakhi and Tibetan education. We'll call it Himalayan Education Conference. We had a couple annual conferences, and people came and we sat at their feet and listened.
A very diverse board is very important and very beneficial for our school. For example, we have a US board members, we have board members from Swiss and all over the world, and we have a Ladakhi board.
Advice, suggestion, suggested by His Holiness Dalai Lama and the Khyentse Rinpoche. So His Holiness always, they encourage in this world peace and love. So our mission is basic modern educations. We're going to add, peace and love and mind training in the schools.
We are one family. We are not teachers, students, and boards, and US and lay. But what I feel is there is genuine understanding among the entire diversity. So we can say there is a unity in diversity.
To do this work, for this, social work, and helping these Siddhartha schools. It is the good opportunity for me to help others.
When I started the school, my main goal was to provide education to the students who really need help, who really need education.
At my parents' time, their parents thought that education is not a thing that people should have. They focused more on money and agriculture, earning like 2 rupees a month by being a servant at one of the rich family in Changtang or babysitting someone, they gave main focus to their own food and, to not have hunger in the family,
In our school, most of the children are very needy, and their parents or families are uneducated, most of them, and sponsorship is the lifeblood for the children, and without which it is not possible to get their education. Sponsors receive letters, correspondence.
I'm 12 years old and I like to study storybooks. My favorite sport is football. Thank you.
I feel really lucky to be a part of Siddhartha School, because this school is not a commercial school. This school, we bring students who are poor, who struggle academically. It's not like other schools. This school is different, and we bring students from all over Ladakh who really need education and who really need help.
With time, you have to change accordingly. Changes does not mean you will forget about your traditional things, forget about your values, forget about your cultural heritage and all. You have to hold to your values, traditions, and adding on to your knowledge.
So Ken Rinpoche, he realizes that change is inevitable. And honestly, I think he realizes that change is a part of culture, that culture adapts. And what's important is that the ethics that are compassionate and fair and generating peaceful communities, that should be the driving force behind what is extended into the future culturally.
They get an opportunity to go to America, learn their tradition and our tradition, but that way the children are not more intelligent, gives more stronger power idea how to support oneself and how to support the world and the family, friend, and everyone.
First, when I was studying in Siddhartha School, I was only wanted to become a doctor, but when I went to America, I was open to a lot of opportunities where I kind of thought that maybe there's a lot of things that I can become, beside doctor. So
when I came here for the first time, when the school started, there was no facilities as we have now, and transportation was very difficult for teachers to come every day from Leh or Choklamsar or wherever they live, and also there was no water. As we see, we have water now.
I remember our first big gift was $500, and we felt like amazed, to have that person believed in us that much to give us that much, and we felt a huge responsibility. I was really impressed in that very beginning time with how the local people were already stepping up and saying, we'll give you the property. Rather than rent the room next year, please take this property and start to build. So the good news was we got the property. The bad news was that we'd have to fundraise for all of these buildings. And I think if there is one tremendous blessing that the school has, is that it grew slowly. Because if we'd gotten a lot of gifts, let's say, in the very beginning, and we would have built quickly, we would not have had the time to gain the experience about how to manage and also to find the right people to do the real work inside the school to teach. We would have had a nice building and no heart inside.
Stars are on the mountains and they fall into the schoolyard. Stars become the children who are singing and travel far.
I feel like everybody should study to give back to the world. Should I say that?
This is our second temple, our own Siddhartha school.
After the graduate student from these schools, they are becoming a good person, happy person, peaceful person, bring more happy in this world.
The students who will graduate from the school will benefit the community, Stock community, and then in Ladakh, and then brought India.
We seek for what is true and dress ourselves in blue. This is our second temple, our own.
They should shine really, really bright in their life. They should know the value of their life.
Bye-bye. Bye. See you later. Infinity.
Infinity.
Beginningless.
Beginningless.
Endless.
Endless.
Forever.
Forever.